What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Savage Land. Welcome to another episode of Soapbox, my weekly commentary show where we talk about community, hot topic rants, and just simple toy news. And we're gonna jump right into it and go with community and pretty much what I've seen on social media, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Pictures, cool storylines, and the first one is Twisted Metal, the series. Now, Twisted Metal is a video game that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. I remember playing it as a freshman in high school, which that was 1999, 2000, so it came out around that era. But what's going on with Twisted Metal, they have a live action TV show that's going to be pretty much coming on Peacock, starring Anthony Mackie. Show looks pretty dope. They're going about it the right way. It's gonna be like an action comedy, and if you know Twisted Metal is real wacky. Just put it like this: they had one guy who was basically mended with like construction equipment. He just rode around like that with these two big tires on each side. They had a clown in an ice cream truck. Had a dude from Compton named Thumper who was kind of like a gangbanger in a 6'4" Impala, and his special move with his cars where he'd hit his speaker and it'd go like "Root, root," and everybody would like blow up around him, man. So it was a dope game. I talked on the phone earlier this week with my homeboy from high school I used to play it with, man. We was not we didn't even talk, we was text messaging, and we basically went back and forth for like 15-20 minutes text messaging just about how much fun we had with it. So if you know about Twisted Metal, or you want to see a cool post-apocalyptic show about killer cars or people killing each other up in cars, check it out. It's gonna be coming on Peacock in I think around July. Next up, Valaverse showed off, Bobby Vala, I think on his Instagram, showed off the Vanguard truck, the tow hitch. I think he's supposed to get a full reveal during Joe Fest. Hopefully I can make it to Joe Fest this year. I'm still trying to see what's up. I got a couple of vacations planned on around that time, but hopefully I can dip down there for a day. It's not too far from where I'm from, and see what's up. But he's showing off little bits and pieces of this truck. I actually can't wait for this truck to come out. Like I said, I'm a G.I. Joe guy all day, but good action figures are good action figures. Hopefully he can put it out for a good price, and it'll be another cool little vehicle to for anything, Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, whatever you want, your 1/12 scale. I think this Vanguard will definitely work out. Also this week, Artershark, a huge G.I. Joe news YouTuber, showed the Arctic Bat, and the pretty much somebody had it in hand overseas. That's the common thing of Hasbro. The overseas people get it first, which I can't complain. They cut them off on a lot of stuff. Hasbro posts, some other things that was going on where they just can't really kind of get figures like that. So the places that can get them overseas, they usually get them first. And somebody had the Arctic Bat. Has a new kind of futuristic look to it, and it looks good. I like how the bat looks like it evolved. It's not the same old bat, which I would have been cool with that, just because what I got going on is just different rainbow colors. Once again, if you haven't seen my G.I. Joe video unboxing 116 Cobra Troops or showing off 116 Cobra Troops, go ahead and check that out. But far as my bats, I only have like 2 waves. Yeah, because I don't have the Crimson Bat. And pretty much each wave of bat of the 3 different ones are pretty much the same thing. They just have different paint decos. This one actually has some new sculpted pieces as far as armor. And it also comes with a set, which both of them came with 2 heads. I mean, the versions that came out so far came with 2 heads, but this one has like a totally new, different head, and I'm cool with it. It has a chainsaw arm, which they jumped on Gridiron Studios for that, because Gridiron Studios was selling the chainsaw arms, but now Hasbro has jumped ahead of the curve and got finally a chainsaw arm for their bat. Also, he showed off a Rock and Roll Wave is ready to ship. So people are already getting their hands on Rock and Roll, and whoever was in that wave. I'm trying to think. I don't think Shipwreck was in that wave, but what's the guy name who drives the water moccasin? I forgot his name, but that wave with Rock and Roll is starting to ship and see getting the people's hands overseas. Also, what I watched on YouTube, as far as this in the YouTube community, is Hotboxing. Hotboxing is a podcast with Mike Tyson. And they're pretty much in the room smoking weed, and he's doing an interview. And that's what it means. It's like a double entendre, damn, no pun intended, of Mike Tyson, who was a boxer, and when they smoke a room out with weed, you hotbox it. And more better guest than Snoop Dogg. But what brought me to this episode, which I've watched plenty of episodes of Hot Boxing, was they were talking about Nipsey Hussle, and Snoop Dogg was just basically just saying his experiences with Nipsey. R.I.P. Nip. We need more Nipsey Hussles in our community. You ain't got to rap to be a Nipsey Hussle. We need more black empowerment. We can complain about things, this and that, but I see no ownership in the black community. And this is just me talking strictly to my brothers who watch this. We need to start empowering ourselves more. We need to start getting more black-owned stores. I mean, it's cool that the Arabs got the corner store, but what happened to the black people who own the store? What happened to the black businesses? We need to take our dollars and put them back into our own neighborhoods, just like Nipsey Hussle did. But guess what? There's always another crab in the barrel out there who wants to see a person like Nipsey gone, because they like the neighborhood screwed up. They like the neighborhood ran the hell down so they can talk about, yeah, look where I'm from, but fuck that. We need to change that narrative. But back to the hot boxing with Snoop Dogg and Mike Tyson. It was a good episode. And let me say this, I love the transition of Mike Tyson and Snoop Dogg. Not because they were horrible people, but seeing young black guys with the world on their back grow and transition to older black men. I think it's a beautiful thing. Now Snoop ain't the young Snoop no more, he's Uncle Snoop. And Mike Tyson is a very, very intellectual person. You have to get past the lisp and the speech impediment and the way his voice sounds, but listen to his conversation basis. He's a very intellectual guy, man. And I think it's beautiful. But check out that podcast, period. He also has another co-host that kind of breaks up the so hard, because Mike Tyson's almost a character within himself, because he's just like, you would make fun of him, but you wouldn't, because you know he'll whoop your ass even in his older age. But most people who sound like this, you would make fun of that person, but you wouldn't do that to Mike Tyson. But to break up that, he has a co-host of a guy who was in the NFL for 6 years, and they're very they're advocates for cannabis, which I am too, and cannabis. And in that episode, the guy who played in the NFL was like, I wish they would legalize it, because they got me doped up on all different types of pills and shots and stuff like that. But I felt most mellow when I was smoking my weed. And then, guys try to combat things like that with alcohol, but that ain't gonna do nothing but make things worse. But check out Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. Great podcast. Up next, I have a photo that I seen in GIJOE Classified Elite, which is my Facebook group. It was Elite. I was about to say it might have been Uncensored, which I'm in that GIJOE group too. But a girl put up a photo. She was very ecstatic about getting her rock and roll and a couple of other figures. And lo and behold, here comes a damn troll with a picture of showing like some gaps in a figure. And yeah, I understand all that, man, but like, let people have their moment, man. If you see this guy, he's not perfect. His teeth was all jagged and fucked up, and he just looked dirty looking, and he wasn't perfect, and these figures aren't. So I just had to put that troll up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop trolling people. 1 week on my hot topics, that's what my hot topic will be, trolls. But man, let people enjoy their figures, man. The girl was excited to get her rock and roll figure, and here you go. You might as well just not said nothing. If there's a gap in there, I'm pretty sure she's gonna see it and work it out. Like I showed off the gap in CoverGirl, which is a QC issue, but it wasn't in the end of the world. And if I don't do nothing to her and stand her on the shelf, she'll still look good. She definitely still will look good. I watched Michael Mercy, and I told you I'm into Jada die-cast cars, actually the 124 scale. They have several different scales, 118th, 132, but I'm into the 124. And Jada die-cast cars are basically like Hot Wheels on steroids. They're big enough you can show off the detail in them, but they're also small enough to where you can store them. They won't take up a lot of space. Also, they have the trunks, the hoods, the doors open. A lot of times with the piping and the engine is chromed out, and they're die cast. That's like a throwback to like the 1960s and 50s toys. Like my dad and them used to play with metal trains, real metal train that'll go around on a metal track. And that's why I like them so much. I think they're pretty cool figures. But Michael Mercy did a video, and it's been 3 years now, on the Ghostbuster 124 scale car. And I got some fun activities once I get my Jada toys built up that I want to do. But he showed that the Lego men can go inside and fit inside the cars. I would thought a 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe would fit in there, but you can't. You can't get past the steering wheel. So you can actually use little Lego men to fit inside those cars. And I think that's pretty cool because I see little Lego men at toy shows when I go, which I've only been to a few. But they're stacked on rows. It almost look like they're army built. But I don't build Legos. I never have. I never was into Legos as a kid, but I also think the little Lego men are cool because you get Lego men for everybody. Like at the last Comic-Con I went to, a guy had nothing but Legos, but they were all X-Men like Legos, like almost kind of like the animated series Legos. And I thought those were pretty cool. So now I have a reason to pick them up because I can put them in my 1/24 scale car as my drivers. Also, last but not least, I watch Peg Warmers. Haven't watched Peg Warmers in a minute, but he had an episode on 89 Batman, which pretty much been a running thing for the past month. But it's not current toys. The cool thing about Peg Warmers is they broke out all their 1989 Toy Biz Batman toys and Kenner toys. And the cool thing about the guy from Peg Warmers is when he says like, yeah, this is my original such and such, I'm like, holy, how did this guy keep that? You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. But it's a great episode. Most time with Peg Warmers, they're dealing with vintage toys. It's very few modern. And like I said, it's from his personal collection. Man, not something he rebrought. A lot of times it's stuff that he had in the stash from his childhood. But they had the Batwing up there, Joker, a couple of different Batmans from pretty much 1989. So check that out. Peg Warmers. It's a pretty cool episode. 89 Batman. All right, let's get into the hot topic for the week. And we're not gonna be so, I guess, controversial this week. We'll do that next week. But let's talk about a hot topic that's actually been coming up. And I actually thought about it at the beginning of the week, but in the last couple of days I've been seeing it. And YoJoe June is coming up, so we need to start talking about this. What will the next G.I. Joe HASLAB be? There's a lot of speculation of what it could be. I have my thoughts of what it could be. But it's either they've been putting out simulations like how they did for their campaigns, like with the Sky Striker, and basically Hasbro's acting like their secret agent, kind of letting you know that they're coming out with a strictly G.I. Joe HASLAB to combat the HISS tank that came out this year, and which we still haven't got, which we probably get maybe at the end of the summer, beginning of fall. Me personally, I think it's going to be the Wolverine. Why you say that? Because we already got CoverGirl, so she definitely could drive it. And with those QC issues, she should never ever be in a damn HASLAB. But you know, there's several people that drove the Wolverines. Just CoverGirl came with the actual Wolverine back in the day. But I think the Wolverine is a good, decent size to combat the HISS tank. It could be relatively the same size. There was another tank, I believe the Mobat, which I never owned either one. I will get a Wolverine soon though. Once again, in my flea market, they have one up there for like 70 bucks. But the missiles on the Wolverine looks just like the add-on missiles that they gave to the HISS tank that the HISS tank never had. But the Wolverine already had it. And like I said, it was more kind of like a mid-sized tank. It wasn't this big behemoth, but then it also wasn't small like the Triple T. So I think that's a perfect HASLAB to combat. It's the perfect sizing. You can also do a few new things with it, kind of jazz it up a little bit. But that's just my personal thoughts. Now, I think what earlier this year, the helicopter that Wild Bill drives, and if I get this wrong, you can put it in the comments what it is, but the Tomahawk, they was talking about doing that. And of course, with any plane, any helicopter, any aerial thing you're gonna do, even any boat or ship, not even a boat, a ship you would do for G.I. Joe classified, it's gonna be colossal because it's 1/12 scale. So you're looking at, if they did a helicopter, you're looking at something that's typically gonna be about 3 feet long. Yeah, about 3 feet long, and maybe with propeller span, maybe 12 inches, a foot wide. So it's definitely gonna take up some real estate, and I'm cool with that. Only thing about something like that is, of course, it's gonna have to be a price hike on it because, you know, it's definitely gonna be bigger than the HISS tank. So they probably will shoot themselves in the foot if they try to go up to this $400 mark. Now, if it's something warranted, yes, and worth it, people will get it, but it's not gonna sell out. I hope they don't. They should see what everybody else did. Everybody else last year said, ooh, G.I. Joe Classified just sold out in a day. It was something everybody wanted. And then it was something that was cheaper than previous HASLABs that came before. That's what really helped it out, because when people look at $350, we already paid $350, we already paid $400 for other HASLABs, and then this one comes in at $300. It's a big tank, and it's an item that everybody wants. So that will happen. But if they try to shoot themselves in the foot and jump the gun and try to get $400, $450 for some stuff that's and some stuff that, like, hey, I don't need that, I think they're gonna mess up. I think most of the part with the HISS tank is like, hey, I could actually use a HISS tank. Matter of fact, I could actually use a couple of HISS tanks. So people jumped on it. Then it was already coming with an early bird figure, and there was plenty of figures into it, because what was a great thing was they unlocked all that stuff in one day. So we were really kind of waiting on them the coming weeks to show us that. I think that kind of was like, oh shit. They were like, we don't even have our rollout to show what we're gonna give these guys. So I think it definitely exceeded expectations. As far as what figures will come with this Wolverine, they're hinting at Artishark was hitting at General Hawk. I can see that. I can see him being a specialty figure. It always seems like General Hawk is special. I never heard anybody say like, hey, General Hawk's my favorite guy. So I think they'll throw that in. As far as what extra figures they would do, I don't know. Then as far as that Tomahawk with Wild Bill, they haven't said nothing about Wild Bill. Matter of fact, they didn't say anything about the Coco Cobra Commander last year. So if they do the Tomahawk, they probably could definitely throw Wild Bill in there. If they do the Wolverine, they probably could throw Wild Bill in there. I don't know. I don't know what other figures, guest figures they could throw in there. Oh, that's it. So what they probably would do was give you a main figure and then do just like the HISS tank. Give you some tank drivers. Give you some helicopter operators. Just plain kind of green shirt guys. Basically, glorified green shirts is probably what will come with these HASLABs for on the G.I. Joe side. Other than that, I don't think anything else they could possibly do besides something aerial or a tank. Don't see a station coming like a playset. That's just way too much. And I don't see the USS Flag. I wouldn't even want nothing that big. Be honest with you, they would almost have to do something kind of where it's almost like a table, like a fold-up table, like this 6-foot table I got behind me, and dress that up as a USS Flag. But shit, that'll be like $1,500, man. So I don't know. I'm anxious to see. We will see soon. Last year, towards the end of June, that's when they announced their HASLAB. So I'm thinking it'll be the same thing. It'll be the last cherry on top at the end of Yojo June. But let me know, what do you think? You can put it in the comments of what you think this year's HASLAB would be, but I'm thinking it's going to be a Wolverine. I'm almost positive. I don't have any inside information, but I'm almost positive it's going to be a Wolverine. But if I'm wrong, hopefully it's something good. And this probably will, I don't want to say it'll be my HASLAB, but I'm almost had my feel. And even on the G.I. Joe side, once I get something to combat Cobra, I think I'll be good. Now, if they came out with a Cobra Rattler, I'll probably be on board for that HASLAB next year, but we'll see. All right, let's go into toy news and action figure clearance. A guy named Kyle Vick on my G.I. Joe Uncensored group on Facebook this week put up Destro. And he did a very, very extensive synopsis, better than any review I've seen, but the most part he showed a close-up of the soft goods and they look phenomenal. He ordered 2 in the dark like me. He didn't know how this thing was going to turn out, but he loves it, and I'm glad he put this up because it gave me a little bit more confidence about this MEZCO Destro, and it also has a soft good collar. Let's go into Amazon. Kilgore, Trapjaw, Origins, $18, used to be a $30 set. Fodder heaven right here, $6 for Doctor Strange, and you get an extra Build-A-Figure piece. This is all Amazon. Amazon USA again, $18 Captain America. This is the better than the last movie figure that they put out. $9.99 for a Wong. You also get the extra Build-A-Figure piece. This is also once again Amazon.com USA. This is also Army Building Central right here, $13 for Supreme Scientist, Amazon. This Thor right here looks really good. The body looks great, but he looks better with a fat Thor with the dreadlock head, also on Amazon for $11. This right here is from Big Bad Toy Store, 5-pack Wolverine for $84. You get each figure for about $15 a piece. Anything under $20 with NECA is great. Once again, Big Bad Toy Store, $19.99 for the black and white Frankenstein. J. Jonah Jameson movie edition. Great price. You also get the armadillo arm Build-A-Figure. Once again from Amazon. This is kind of a gummy figure, but for $13, it's worth taking a swing. And it's also a good looking figure. Human Torch. This is great from Entertainment Earth. $28.71 for the Mausers 5-pack. Anything under $30 with Super 7 is a steal. You also get a 4-pack of the first wave of the Super 7 G.I. Joes. You save like $54 on this. This right here is a great deal. Cowabunga Mike. Look how much stuff you get for $28. I'm going to take a swing at this myself. Anything with Entertainment Earth over $59.99, you get free shipping. This is the Savage Land. If you can, give me a like, comment, subscribe. We do this for the love and beauty of action figures. And until the next time, God bless.